I'm going to suggest 3 things that cause many people, maybe you, it has for me, caused us to stop doing good at times that God has called us and holds us responsible to do. So we're going to write these in and we'll talk about them as we go. The first thing that we're going to write in our notes is the word offense. Offense stops many people from doing good. Your feelings get hurt. Your perspective about a scenario gets gray and jaded. And where God has put you, you don't want to be there anymore. The people He has put you around, you don't want to be around anymore. I got my feelings hurt. One of the things that you and I give people, and they give us back, it's not like it's one directional, but you give people 2 things in most scenarios. You give people proximity and vulnerability. You give people a proximity of yourself to them, and you give a measure of vulnerability that you reveal emotions and reveal feelings, and you get close enough to expose yourself. And when you give proximity and vulnerability, you can get advantage. People can take advantage of it.
Come alive, wake up, sleeper, He is risen, we are risen with Him.
And maybe you know what it's like to have somebody take advantage of you in some regard, and you got offended. You got your feelings hurt. So let's look at a verse and then let's talk about this. In John chapter 6, there's a powerful statement that Jesus makes to His disciples. He's given a teaching that is really difficult to understand in a Jewish context, and a number of them are tripping up on it. And it says, on hearing it, many of His disciples said, "This is a hard teaching, who can accept it?" Aware that His disciples were grumbling about this, Jesus said to them, "Does this offend you? Have I offended you?" In verse 66, if you jump to after He gives some explanation, it says, "From this time, many of His disciples turned back and no longer followed Him." Can you imagine being in the company of people that said no to Jesus? I don't want to follow you anymore. Why? Because I got offended. It's an interesting concept. And it's one that I don't think that we're immune to. So where you have the word offend, you have the Greek word scandalizo. And scandalizo was an interesting word that had a literal meaning with a figurative usage. A lot of Greek words and a lot of Hebrew words had a literal meaning with a figurative usage. So the literal meaning simply meant to stumble, to trip. If you've ever been going along and you've tripped, what is the first thing you do? You look around to see who saw. Anybody see that? Good. If not, you're like the crack in the ground. You know, you want to blame. But it's literally scandalizo is to trip. The figurative usage of it is to distrust, to fall away. What causes people to break relationships? They get offended. Something causes this relationship to trip. And I distrust you now. I distrust you, God. I distrust where I'm going. I fall away. I'll show you a visual of scandalizo. Many of us have had this happen physically. Many of us have had this happen relationally. What causes somebody to stop doing the good that they are responsible for? What causes a person to stop forgiving? What causes a person to stop being patient? What causes a person to stop being long-suffering or gentle or meek or any of the fruit of the Spirit? Often it's some form of tripping. Paul would say this to the church in Galatia. We're aware of what he said in chapter 6, but look at what he said in chapter 5. He said, "You were running a good race. Who cut in on you and kept you from obeying the truth?" So in the course of this series, we're going to lean on, we're not going to be afraid to push on, have I gotten my heart hurt by somebody? Am I having to cook with a cold? Am I having to forgive and I don't want to, but I'm responsible for it. Second thing would be frustration. Frustration causes some people to stop doing good. And when I say frustration, it's that there's no longer a reciprocation. Like there's not a reciprocation of effort coming back in what I feel I give. There's not a reciprocation of results or responses. I feel like I'm doing A, and I feel like what I'm getting back is B, and they are not the same. And that can even happen in a spiritual attack. Like I am not one who thinks that everything that happened in life is a spiritual attack. You catch a red light and you're like, the devil's against me. I don't think that he is operating our grid system of traffic lights. That being said, there are times you are under or facing a spiritual attack against you or against your family, and there's resistance. And you're giving A, but you're getting B, and they are not equal. I'll give you a passage. It comes from Luke 22. Jesus is talking to Peter, and he says, Simon, Simon. For those that don't know, Simon was Peter's original name. So he's saying, Peter, Peter, basically here. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift you as wheat, to which I would have said to Jesus, I hope you said no. But Jesus says, but I have prayed that your faith may not fail. You're going to be responsible for faith, even though you are not going to feel it. And he says, when you've turned back, strengthen your brothers. So you have this word sift, and it's the word syniazo. Syniazo. And syniazo, once again, like scandalizo, has an actual literal meaning that has a figurative usage. So the literal meaning is to agitate. The figurative usage of syniazo was something that was on the inside of a person. So that there is an inside, internal agitation that happens. The agitation is not just something that is tangible, it's an internal thing. So let me give you kind of a visual of this. So I've got 2 miniature Coke cans here, but it'll service for us. And on this Coke can, you probably can't tell right now, but it is empty. And so I'm going to show you what scandalizo does to us. It means to trip, but here's what scandalizo does to us. It's exterior. It crushes us. Offense crushes us. Syniazo doesn't crush us. Syniazo shakes us up to the point of overthrow. I'm trying to save money, and our dishwasher broke. We're going to counseling, or we're paying for counseling, and my loved one didn't show up for the counseling. I've got teenagers that are rolling their eyes. Getting a 50 on a math test and telling me I'll never need math in my life. Right? Offense crushes us, and sometimes the enemy simply wants to agitate you internally so much that you're at the point of overthrow. And if anybody pops your top, it's going everywhere. Anger, fear, agitation, all of that. And you are so good. I can be so good that we can be in a board meeting, we can be around people, we can have a presentation, and nobody knows from the exterior that I am at the point of overthrow. That is so often how the enemy will work in your life. And it'll cause you to stop doing good, the things you're responsible for. Offense, frustration, last one, fatigue. It'll cause you to be so tired. Just wear you out. Where you say, I'm empty, I don't have the desire, don't have the energy to do it, don't want to do it. And sometimes that's simply the attack of the enemy, or I should say the agenda of the enemy, is to get you so worn out. And the Lord will still hold you to be responsible, to forgive, or to be gracious, or to give, or to serve, or to lead, or to read, or to obey, or to trust, and you are worn out.
If you see what I see, that the grave is empty, then you know what I know. Anything is possible. If you see what I see, that the grave is empty, then you know what I know. Anything is possible.
Hi. Suicide rates are rising rapidly, so most Jesus followers should prepare ourselves for a more active role in preventing suicides. We are on the front line since pros rarely get involved until a foot soldier helps connect people in crisis with trained professionals. E94.org is a Christian ministry dedicated to equipping the church to prevent suicide through free training of foot soldiers to prevent suicide through training, consulting, and resources. Get equipped to give hope and help and confidently refer people to professional counselors. Learn more at e94.org. Thank you.